Hello there my fellow Holotable heroes, and welcome to another Conquest video guide. You'll be able to find this and all my other Conquest guides on my Swagger for Life website. If you haven't seen it yet, go and check it out. There'll be a link in the description below. So Conquest is slowly coming to an end, so you probably just have a couple of more feats here and there to finish off to unlock that red crate. So I'm back with some cheese again. I had some time as I finished up more or less my red crate, so I will show you a team that can kind of get roughly around 10 tortures per battle. So two different variations depending on whether you do have Grand Inquisitor or not. So after these initial cheese battles, I'll show you then two more battles. So that's for the global feat, for the booming voice, and then as well massively overpowered. So both teams can, get done that in one or two battles quite easily. So as always, YouTube chapters below. Otherwise, let's first have a look at the data disk that I'll be using for the cheese team here for torture. So the idea is here not to win, obviously to time out, do as many as you can. I do not have 45 data disks, that's why I have lots of entrenched instead, just to make my guys survivable. You obviously need voluntary vanguard here, so then they'll have to keep hitting Malak. Ruthless swiftness for some extra bonus turn meter, why not, right? Defensive formation. So we do recover protection, so that's actually entrenched. Data disk, the protection does count as protection, so whenever what calls to assist, he'll be recovering some protection for your Malak, making sure your Malak stays untouched, unbreakable, more survivability. Some turn meter removal, like I didn't really have an amazing disc, so I'll just throw this one on as well, and this is pretty much it. But essentially voluntary guard and entrenched fortified, I think that should be more than enough. So you will want to hop into sector 4. There we go. So while I was testing, I did 21. So let's see how much I can actually do in this video now that I'll show you. So we start with 21. Let's keep that number in our minds. And what you want to do is head over to the Tuscan node, because these bad boys do not have an AoE. So they'll just constantly be hitting Malak all the time. Or obviously if you do have a Galactic Legend or any other durable character, it might do as well. So obviously Trip, pretty much, everybody should have him, I guess, because, it was a marquee free star unlock for free, even at gear rate. It will do. So obviously the special ability here will apply torture on the target, but unfortunately just for one turn, which is a little bit annoying, because you'll then, if they lose the torture, you won't be able to obviously start spreading translation. So in terms of how translation spreads is a lot more difficult than obviously with the C3PO, where you just have to use special abilities. Here your dark side allies have to target an enemy with torture on them, so then they can gain stack of translation. And obviously once you do have 3 stacks of translation, then whenever you use basic here from Trip, then he'll be reducing cooldowns for those guys that do have 3 stacks of translation. Now, because it's only one turn torture, both for Grand Inquisitor and Trip, you need them thrown so that he fractures whoever is tortured, and then you're good to go. You can cheese your way through this one. So to start off, I'll put Med Pack on Malak, just some extra protection recovery from him. Okay, then they get a bunch of turns. Even though they're feared, they're still getting lots of turns. There we go. Finally, let's throw Fracture on one of the Tuscans. And then I'm going to put Weapon Tech over on Trip, so he's getting lots of bonus turn meter, so he'll be getting lots of turns. Let's go ahead, drop Torture with Grand Inquisitor. I noticed that Torture doesn't stack, so as you can see, that's why I target a different Tuscan here to put Torture on them as well. So I got 2 Tortures already to begin with, and now it's just a case of everybody targeting whoever got Torture on them. Thrown lead is good as well, because it gives you this outmaneuver ability that can a little bit give you more turn meters. You can get quicker back-to-back turn, especially to land the fracture. But on that, pretty straightforward. Keep hitting, keep targeting, trying to keep them alive. Remember, we're not trying to defeat them. We want them to keep alive as long as possible, so we can get as many tortures out as there. There we go. We got now 3 stacks of translation on Trip, so he can be reducing his own cooldowns. We got torture, let's just drop it on somebody else, and then we just keep targeting back over to the fractured enemy. We can go ahead here now, swap turn meter with Trip again, using basic, so he reduces his cooldowns. Their Grand Inquisitor, he's also got 3 stacks of translation now, so we'll be reducing his cooldowns as well. So we'll be able to quickly, hopefully, cycle through these tortures. But these guys are getting a lot of turns. So here I can go ahead and put torture on somebody with low turn meter. But unfortunately there, Throne didn't have Fracture ready yet, so whenever you come to this point, it's always good to time in a way that you do have a Fracture ready when you land the Torture. So you go, I don't have Torture, but luckily I did have Torture on Grand Inquisitor. I can go ahead, reapply the Fracture, and this is pretty much a rinse and repeat. Just spreading obviously Torture on somebody that doesn't have it yet while you still have somebody fractured. And whenever they lose Fracture, make sure to fracture them first and then apply Torture on them. And this is pretty much it. Just let the battle time out. We're not trying to defeat anybody. So whenever you choose your next target for Fracture, choose somebody that has the highest health and protection, because the more enemies are alive, the more bonus turn meter Trip will be getting. And let's go have a look. So we got 33, which means I got 12 Tortures in this particular battle I showed you. But yeah, for my testing it was 10, 11, 12, so you know, that sort of thing. You can probably knock this out with this team in about 5 battles if you need to. Now probably many of you do not have Grand Inquisitor yet. In that case, if you do not have him, you can add in First Order Officer, because one of his special abilities gives 100% turn meter, so you can keep feeding turns over to Trip. And the other ability, he will be reducing cooldowns by himself, so pretty much he will have the turn meter ability every other turn that he's got, so it's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and start off the same thing, Med Pack over on Malak. Okay, then they get a few turns, that's okay. Malak can take a few punches, no problem whatsoever. Come on, eventually we get a turn. We're just gonna go ahead, drop a Fracture on somebody, and then put Weapon Tech again over on Trip. Now we can just do basic, no sense of passing turn over to Trip, because he was about to get a turn, so I saved it for the next time. Apply the Torture on whoever is fractured, and then just keep targeting that enemy over and over again, so we slowly start getting stack of translation. For some reason I didn't get 1 stack of translation on my first move with Trip. I did get it now, so I'm not sure. There seems to be some sort of bug maybe, I'm not sure. There we go, but otherwise let's just keep going. Got 2 stacks of translation. Now we can pass turn back over to Trip, and now Trip got 3 stacks of translation, so we will... Oh, why didn't he get stack of translation? Okay, anyway, looks like some sort of bug, or I'm missing something. Anyway, we got another Torture online, so just torture somebody else, because as mentioned before, Torture does not stack. And hey, there we go, finally got 3 stacks there of translation, so Trip will be reducing his cooldowns. You can use Spinning Shot from First Order Officer, so he will be reducing his all cooldowns. There we go, we got a Fracture already available to use. I'm going to drop it on another one. Unfortunately no Torture here yet, so hopefully we can get it online quickly. Anyway, Trip is getting very quick turns just because the enemy is so fast and because of Weapon Tech. There we go, finally dropped their Torture back over to the Fractured, and now it's pretty much rinse and repeat. Remember, do not apply Torture somebody that already got it, because from my testing at least, when I tried stacking it, I only got like 5 Tortures in a battle, so I don't think that it does stack. But if you do notice that it does, let me know. From my testing it didn't. And this is pretty much it, just keeping everybody alive, so Trip gets lots of bonus turn meter. Fracture somebody, put Torture on them, and that's it. So remember, we had 33 and now we got 42, so I actually got 9 Tortures here. So even without Grand Inquisitor actually is not too bad at all, as long as obviously you did obviously get the marquee there, 3-star unlock for free with Trip, which I was assuming everybody did. Okay, so with cheese out of the way, let's just do a couple of more battles here, showing you global feats. Let's first start with the Booming Voice. So for this one, again, we're not trying to defeat anybody. We're just using Booming Voice and any sort of ability data disk that you do have. We don't want any extra offense for our guys. Again, we'll be choosing the good old Tuscan node, no AoEs, which means Malak can get this done again for us. And same thing, Med Pack over on Malak. And then I just brought in like 4 non-attacking units. You could also bring in C3PO, I guess. But maybe once you do hit auto there, his assists, exposes and things like that. So maybe this is the most optimal. So once you put Weapon Tech over on BB-8, then you just hit autoplay, to be honest, and this is pretty much it. BB-8, he'll be getting lots of bonus turn meter because of Weapon Tech, and every time he uses an ability, he's in the leading slot, right? He will then simply be calling everybody to assist with the Booming Voice. I'm not sure how many you can actually do this way, because at the time of recording I actually had completed already Booming Voice when I was testing out teams, but I'm pretty sure you can get 20 per battle if not more, while also earning some data core material in the process. And I have one more global feat to go, the unlimited power, with massively overpowered, where we have to get this effect 20 times. And probably the easiest thing to do is just use Imperial Troopers. You can get it done in a single battle. Again, just using very similar here data disk, no really damage. We want to stall out the battle as long as we can. Again, guess what? Tuscans, yay! I don't want to use Dark Trooper in here because he's just doing too much damage. I want this battle to last long enough so I can get massively overpowered 20 times. That's why I'm bringing in Short Trooper so he can take the initial barrage. Then Piet keeps getting bonus turn meter whenever his Empire allies are hit, so he can jump in and get your buffs going. So for massively overpowered, I think you have to gain 7 buffs to gain massively overpowered effect. And because of Emperor's Trap and obviously the other buffs here that the troopers are getting, we're getting massively overpowered many times. And by the time you're done with these guys, you will complete already here the massively overpowered feat. Now maybe if you defeat them too quickly, it might take you a couple of battles. It really depends. And there you go, guys, that's all what I wanted to show you in today's video. Just, you know, a little bit different ways here you can cheese Tuscan node, definitely without AoEs. This node is probably the easiest to exploit to get your either, you know, Sector 4 or any sort of global feats, while also earning some data cron materials in the process. Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one, but until then, have fun, enjoy life, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.